Okay everybody, when we first moved here, I bought this tree as a clearance damaged tree at Lowe's. They had a freeze down in Pensacola and they marked this tree, this is called Florida Best. They put it on clearance for $6 and I snatched it up. And just in 5 years, you can see what a beautiful peach tree this has turned out. Last year we had a few peaches on it, but it always has a tendency to bloom right before we get our first freeze. Florida Best only requires about 100 to 150 chill hours, and we get about 500 here. Now, take a look at this picture I'm about to show you. And in that picture, this tree is fully bloomed out January 2nd. We haven't even had our first frost or a freeze yet. We might have had a little bit of a frost, but nothing below 32 degrees below, or nothing below 32 degrees. We haven't even had a good freeze. Now, I did notice on this bottom limb down here that goes all the way up, just on that one limb, I've got a couple of good blooms up there. So we're going to come right above where that, where this tree limb comes out at the base right here. We're going to cut right above that. We're going to leave that limb with those few blooms on it, and then we're going to graft on a couple of new varieties. Right behind it here, I have Louisiana's variety called LA Feliciana. Now, my wife really loves that peach. It's an absolutely wonderful melting flesh peach, freestone, and she asked that if I'm going to graft over this, graft over it with that. So we're going to have a nice diameter stock to put on. So I'm going to put on Feliciana, and I'm going to put on Georgia Belle. And those are two good varieties that do good in this area. And we're going to rework this tree. So I hope you enjoy this video. All right, there we have it. The top has been cut out of the tree. We've got a nice little stump to work with. I've got some feeder branches coming off to the side. And also that's going to make sure sap continues to flow up to that area. And when I put those graft pieces on the bark, the sap will be there. So hopefully they'll take and they'll start pushing new growth real soon. I noticed that we were pushing some nice new growth on that, so hopefully the grafts don't flood out, and hopefully they'll take. So we're going to put multiples on. We're going to be doing a bark graft. That's what I'm going to show you us doing here. And we're going to put some tree coat on there to protect that big wound. So we have the bark here, and then just inside the bark is the cambium layer. The cambium layer is the active growing tissue. When a tree grows, it's not the interior wood that grows, but it's the cambium that adds layers to the wood. So next year this would be, all this cambium would become wood, and it would continue to grow outwards. We're going to take our LA Feliciana. I like to do about 1.25 inches of a graft. Cut that right down through there. And then one final cut for a smooth cut. Make sure this side is as straight as possible. We're going to place this one about right there. So we're going to split that bark down to about right here somewhere. There we go. Now we'll just open that bark up. Now we can just put our graft right down in there. And you don't really have to worry about this back side. Some people make a graft cut through there, but our cambium layer we're worried about. is closest to the tree trunk. So we'll put that right down in there like that. Now we need to add good little pressure right there. So in a second we're going to put a rubber band around there and just kind of give that a good tug. And if a rubber band doesn't hold it firmly enough, go grab something else. But that's the intentions right now, is to use rubber band. All right, I'm gonna go to the other side and we'll do the same thing and put on Georgia bell. All right. I think that's a little too thin. Let's cut that off. Let's try that again. At least an inch, inch and a quarter. Come right up in here. There we go. Nice straight cut. You know you're in the right season for grafting when the bark just slips away from the wood like that. See how that just slipped right off? Let's give that a good little cut on the back just in case that helps. All right, one more. Okay, nice straight cut. Let's put this one in about right here. Put a little moss off there. Go in about right there. See how that bark just slips away? Expose a little bit of cambium. Slide it right in there. Okay. I have some more room here, so I'm going to grab some more grafting wood and we're going to put a few more grafts in here. And maybe that'll give us an edge. And we'll probably end up leaving 2 or 3 to grow if we get that many to take. I decided that a rubber band is not going to work, so you can grab any electrical tape. And this is the first thing I can lay hands on. So we're going to just take some electrical tape and we're going to pull it tight going around this tree. Now we'll just put some of our tree coat wound dressing on there. We're going to seal up these gaps, so we don't want moisture getting down there. We don't want moisture leaving the tree either. So we're just going to put that on there. Gob all those holes closed. I've never used this stuff before, but I can tell right now I am going to get messy. We've about got all the cracks sealed up, and we'll be back and we're going to see if any of these take. So stay tuned. All right, everybody. It's been exactly 5 weeks today since we initially did these grafts, and look at all that growth that I got coming off right there. All the way down, there was a bud right in the top of the bark right there. So that's coming, all that growth is coming out from that one bud. And on the other side, there was another bud right there also. Now, if you go on up a little bit, there's a bud coming off. Got a lot of growth coming off of that one. Now, I believe this was Georgia Bell, and this one also is Georgia Bell. And you can look, it's pushing growth, but not like this other one that I was just showing you. But we finally got some growth coming out of that one. Now over here on this side, we have Louisiana variety, Feliciana. Let's see if I can zoom it. There we go. And Feliciana is just now pushing growth. And that is Feliciana right there. And it is just now pushing growth and putting blooms on. So this is on par to just now be pushing growth out of those buds. I got one more right there. I got no sign of growth. That one may not have taken. But we're going to leave it there. We're going to give it some time and see what it does. We're going to select the best, most desirable out of these. I may even decide to leave one of each variety on there. All right, so you can see over my shoulder right here where the growth is coming off the stump. And I got these two big stem pieces that are coming up. Now I looked on this one, and right towards the top, there's a few peaches on this branch here. So we're gonna see if these peaches of Florida Best end up making peaches. And if they do, we'll go ahead and leave this until we're able to harvest those peaches. And if we are not able to get any peaches off these two branches, I'm gonna end up coming in, and we're just gonna take out maybe half of this branch at one time, and we'll let that heal. We're going to take out the other branch, maybe half of that, and let that heal. And then we'll end up taking the this branch off right towards the stump where that graft is, until we eventually get those limbs gone. The variety was a very good tasting variety. It just didn't work out for us here. So if you've enjoyed watching this video and you like what we're doing, we invite you to hit the subscribe button and follow along as we bring you content. And go ahead and give us a thumbs up and hit the like button. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching.